All right, time to call this meeting back to order at 10:08 p.m. MPT. Peter, sit down.
Yeah, currently facing breaking situation.
Okay. I call this meeting back to order at 10:08 p.m. Nepal time on the 4th of August. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's good. We will be starting with the agenda of today. Just happy to roll call of member organization. That is not work. Here.
Zillan IVSA Expo, meeting number 45. In honor of Julia's and Thelia's birthday, I would like to have all the delegates to say happy birthday in your mother tongue when your animals are called upon. Okay. IVSA Australia, IVSA China, IVSA Czech Republic, IVSA Denmark, IVSA Germany, IVSA Ghana,
Happy birthday!
IVSA Greece, IVSA Hungary, IVSA India,
जन्मदिन की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं।
IVSA Indonesia,
Selamat ulang tahun.
IVSA Italy, IVSA Latvia, IVSA Malaysia, IVSA Morocco, IVSA Nepal, IVSA Pakistan, IVSA Peru,
Feliz cumple, Julia.
IVSA Republic of Korea, IVSA Serbia, IVSA Slovakia, IVSA Slovakia, IVSA Slovenia, IVSA Sweden,
Grattis på födelsedagen!
IVSA Taiwan, IVSA Thailand,
Happy birthday!
IVSA the Netherlands,
Holy Spirit!
IVSA Turkey,
İyi ki doğdun.
IVSA UK.
Happy birthday.
All right. So we have 50.98% of attendance. The minimum quorum of 40% has been met. The GA can be proceeded.
Awesome. Congratulations to all the MOs that are present here after cultural event. Next point on the agenda, nominations for the Executive Committee 2026-2027. Do we have nominations? I see Prasanna's hand is up.
Prasanna Dahal, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 53. I would like to nominate Navin Joseph Vincent from IVSA Hungary for the position of Secretary General.
Naveen,
Navin Joseph Vincent, IVSA Hungary, bidding number 2, I accept.
are there any other nominations?
Deepkumar Shrestha, IVS Nepal, bidding number 20. I would like to nominate Ebenezer Effa from Ghana for the position of Secretary General.
Is there anyone to accept on his behalf?
Beat Makowska, IVSA Latvia, bidding number 66. I accept on his behalf.
Are there any other nominations? Ika.
Ika Desai, IVSA India, bidding number 13. I would like to nominate Wendy from IVSA Czech Republic for the position of PRC.
Wendy? Not accepted yet.
Andrea Teva, IVSA Czech Republic, bidding number 12. I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Ika.
Beat Makowska, IVSA Latvia, bidding number 66. I would like to nominate Vasti from Peru for the position of PRC.
I'm sorry I got distracted, but Susan, who did we nominate? Basti.
Vasti Ponce, IVSA Peru, bidding number 29. I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Bettina.
Martina from IVSA China, bidding number 5. I'd like to nominate Daniela Galliano for the position of ER.
Okay.
IVSA Fruit, sorry.
Yeah, for clarification, someone needs to withdraw the nomination on her behalf first and then we change it. So I would advise you to do that first. Basti.
Vasti Ponce, IVSA Peru, bidding number 29. I accept on her behalf.
Election committee.
Joint bidding number 6. Daniela withdrew her nominations yesterday, so it's something. Yes.
John, the point is for the minutes. We'll have to do it, yeah. So someone, election committee can do it as well.
Pedro Soman, IVSA Nepal, bill number 19. So exactly this happened in Peru for me. I applied myself for secretariat position and then later on I applied for Secretary General. So the then EXCO clarified that I do not need to withdraw any nomination. If you apply for the next position, then the previous position is dropped immediately. So I don't think we need to withdraw nomination from yesterday.
Okay, cool. So we have a nomination, we got it accepted, and then election committee will change it. All right, so for everyone that got, did not work. Yes, you did. All right, so for everyone that has got nominated so far and the nominators, please make sure you give your complete details to election committee as well as your second choice if you do not get executive committee. So please make sure all the details are given. Are there any other nominations? No.
Mohammad Abu Samad, IVSA Pakistan, bidding number 10. I would like to nominate Deepkumar Shrestha from IVSA Nepal for PR position.
Deep.
Deepkumar Shrestha, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 20. I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will open again at GA3. Next point on the agenda, nomination for chairs of standing committees and networks. Do we have any nominations? Yes. IVSA Australia.
Hi, I'm Ashley Harris, IVSA Australia bid number 83. I would like to nominate Yoga Dashashini from IVSA Malaysia for the Standing Committee on One Health. For the chair, yes.
Yogadashini Puttaparama from IVSA Malaysia, bidding number 81, I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Hands up. Prathama.
Prathama Kalidaho, IVSA India, bidding number 62. I nominate Maria Carlota from IVSA Italy to be the chair of Standing Committee on Animal Welfare.
Is there anyone to accept on her behalf?
Prakriti Chaudhary from IVSA Nepal, I would like to accept on bidding number 25. I would like to accept on her behalf.
Are there any other nominations? Erin.
Kiran here, IVSA Greece, bidding number 21. I would like to nominate Ritika Reddy from IVSA India for chair of the league.
Ritika.
Ritika Reddy, IVSA India, bidding number 23, I accept.
Are there any other nominations?
Diana Grossmann from IVSA Germany, bidding number 68. I would like to nominate as a chair for the Standing Committee of Wellness, Niva Kunva from IVSA Nepal, bidding number 111.
Niva.
Niva Kaur, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 111, I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Yes. Indonesia.
Novan from IVSA Indonesia, bidding number 38. I would like to nominate Pranav Hussain from IVSA India for a One Health Standing Committee.
Okay, is there anyone to accept on his behalf? Ankit.
Ankit Patel, IVSA India, bidding number 33. I accept.
Are there any other nominations?
Prakriti Chaudhary, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 25. I would like to nominate Izzy Zain from IVSA Nigeria for Scooby chair.
Is there anyone to accept on their behalf? Yeah.
Mia Dadakic, IVSA Serbia, bidding number 57, I accept on her behalf.
Are there any other nominations? Yes.
Anvisa Ali, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 100. I would like to nominate Rashti Rekhate from IVSA India for the Skoka chair.
Anyone to accept on behalf?
Deepkumar Shrestha, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 20, I accept on her behalf.
Just a reminder for everyone who's nominating people who aren't here, you will need to provide all their details to election committee, including name, phone number, email. So make sure you have all the details available with you. Are there any other nominations? Albert?
Alberta, IVSA Kampar, bidding number 28. I'd like to nominate Alicia, IVSA Nepal, for chair of all exotic animals network. Thank you.
Alicia?
Anvisa Ali, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 110, I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next agenda point. Nominations are now closed and will open again tomorrow at GA3. Nominations for regional representatives 2026-2027. Do we have any nominations?
Basically, IVSA Peruvian number 29. I would like to nominate Janet Fuertes for the position of regional representative of the Americas.
Is there anyone to accept on the behalf? Mia.
Mia Delic, IVSA Serbia, bidding number 57, I accept her behalf.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will open again at GA3 tomorrow. Nominations for Secretariat 2026-2027. Are there any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will open again at GA3 tomorrow. Nominations for Trust 2026-2027. Are there any nominations? Corina?
Corina Wagner, IVSA Germany, bidding number 7. I want to nominate Tommy Nakon, IVSA Peru for Trust.
Tammy? It's IVSA Expo, by the way.
Tamina IVSA Expo, bidding number 3, I gladly accept.
Are there any other nominations?
Prakriti Chaudhary, IVSA Nepal, bidding number 25. I would like to nominate Prathama Kalidaha from IVSA India for the position of the trust.
Prathama?
Prathama Kalidaha, IVSA India, bidding number 62. I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Wendy?
And Latava, IVSA Czech Republic, bidding number 12, I would like to nominate Ishan Acharya for position of a trust.
Ishan?
Ishan.
Ishan Acharya, IVSA Expo, bidding number 11, I accept.
Are there any other nominations? Again, as a reminder for everyone, a lot of officials are present here. If you want to speak to a specific position that isn't here, we'll help you get in contact with them. Please speak to everyone, get to know what they do, what IVSA is like, and maybe you'll be interested in running for next term's officials. All right, nominations are now closed and will open again tomorrow at GA3. Next point on the agenda is nominations for the 76th IVSA Symposium. Are there any nominations? Are there any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will open again tomorrow. Next point on the agenda, nominations for the 77th IVSA Congress. Do we have any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will open again tomorrow. Next point on the agenda is presentation and approval of the itinerary from the 74th IVSA Online SGA Greece, and that would be me. All right, so for those of you who attended the online SGA back in February, sorry. It was done online because we had lack of applications for the offline event. We also had to change it to be an SGA. So, the attendance at the event, we had a total of 231 applications. Attending delegates were around 107, and attending officials, everyone attended. These were the MOs that were present. The underlined MOs that you see are the ones that attended GA for the first time in their MO life, out of which Australia and Pakistan are present here, which is why they got voting rights after attending the SGA. So, that's for them. Final itinerary is kind of boring because we had GA over 2 weekends, if for those of you who attended remember, and that was a Saturday, Sunday, 2 days. We had opening ceremony, we had GAs, and that was it. During the week, however, we had a wonderful program run by the standing committees and networks. we had a very packed schedule with a lot of lectures that were very informative, including the PVI Institute lecture as well as a lot of lectures by everyone else. We also had the MO meeting on the 3rd, and that was quite productive, is what the MOD team tells me. And yeah, that was the itinerary for the SGA. I move to the chair will entertain a motion to approve the final itinerary of the 74th IVSA Symposium SGA. Peter.
Peter Nichols, I visit Denmark, meeting number 14. I so move.
Second.
The motion on the floor is to approve the final itinerary of the 74th IVSA Symposium SGA. Is there any discussion? This part also includes where you can ask questions regarding the itinerary, regarding the event, and anything else. Is there any objection to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, the motion passes and the final itinerary of the SGA is approved. Because this was an SGA as a clarification for our delegates, there was no budget as such, there were no finances. However, certain officials did attend offline in Greece as part of the event. That finances for that will be presented during the treasurer presentation. So that will be part of the CF transactions. And we will have a motion to approve the budget for 74th IVSA Symposium at the point. So, remark for it. We are done with the agenda points for today, which is why we'll be going into GA1 onwards. What that means is that we have a specific schedule for what will be presented in each meeting of the GA. However, once we are done with the topics, there are extra topics that need to be continued on. Yesterday we were short of time, which is why we did not do GA1 onwards. Now we'll be continuing that. So the first point on GA1 onwards, Tammy.
X committee number 3, I move to send it so our partner can give the presentation. Go on.
Do we have a second? The motion on the floor is to go into strategies for the duration of OA's presentation. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are at strategies. As a reminder for our delegates, strategies means you stay in the room. Recess means you can leave the room. So we'll be staying here for the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I've been told I have 20 minutes, so I set my timer. Yeah, it's been really nice seeing all of you working together. As a veterinary student almost 20 years ago, I also wanted to work with people from different countries, and then wanted to work internationally as a veterinarian. So. But I also know that as a student, after listening to so many presentations, you don't really remember anything. So I do want to make this presentation interactive. And so I hope you will contribute to the discussions. I hope the presentation is coming up. Yeah. Okay, so can anybody tell me what you know about WOA, World Organization for Animal Health? Is it covered in your lectures?
Yes.
Yes? not everyone. Is there anybody who has never heard of WOA or OE?
Headquarters in France, Paris.
Oh, yes. That's, do you know where the offices are in Asia Pacific region? Tokyo and Bangkok, yes. Can we go to the next? Okay, so true or false. So you can just shout if you think it's true or false, and if you're confident, you can shout louder. If you're not sure, maybe you can mumble. So first one, WOA existed before the United Nations.
True.
Second, WOA has country offices in member countries.
False.
Third one, WOA develops international standards for animal health.
True.
Yes. Okay, first one, wildlife is part of WOA's mandate.
True.
So let's see if you got them right or not. This is wrong. Okay, so yeah, the first one is true. I'll show you a timeline next. WOA does not have country offices. We have headquarters in Paris and regional and sub-regional offices, but we work directly with what we call WOA delegates. They are often the chief veterinary officers in your countries. And yes, WOA develops international standards for animal health and wildlife is part of WOA's mandate now fully integrated in our mission. So sorry about the small letters, but WOA was created in 1924 when rinderpest was introduced to Europe from Asia and quickly spread. Do you know if rinderpest still exists? No, yes, it's the only animal disease that's been eradicated. And United Nations was established in 1945, and 1998 was another important year for WOA. So World Trade Organization was established in 1995 and decided that WOA would be the one to develop standards for animal health. And WOA changed our previous name, OIE, Office International Epizootis, fully in 2022. So WOA is an intergovernmental organization with 183 members. We are not part of United Nations systems, partially because we existed before UN. We have many partners and network of reference centers, and yeah, we already talked about regional offices. So WOA's mission is to improve animal health globally, thereby ensuring a better future for all. Apart from standard setting, what does WOA do? Do you know? Can anybody tell? Anything else?
Guidelines for treating animal and diagnostic of disease.
We develop some guidelines, not necessarily treatment, but more like a policy level. Anything else? Yeah, so disease reporting. So we ask our members to report so-called WOA listed diseases. So, okay, let's see. So yeah, increased transparency. So we mandate our members to report a number of diseases. Also, we collect data, other data such as antimicrobial use, how much antimicrobial is used in each members. Yes, we set international standards to help safe trade while without unnecessary barriers to trade. We provide scientific information, promote veterinary services. So if, for example, in the One Health sphere, we are the ones, along with our partners to really promote the importance of the veterinary services. We also facilitate international solidarity in global cooperation and capacity building, and both food safety and animal welfare as well. So this is my team in Tokyo. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to work with people from different countries. So I have colleagues from Malaysia, Latvia, Philippines, Japan, Bhutan, England, Thailand, US, and also Fiji. And amongst us, most of us are veterinarians. So WOA is very much an organization made up of veterinarians. Okay, next question. Who do you think is primarily responsible for animal health policy and implementation in your country? Maybe there's some differences among countries. Anybody? The government?
Yeah, the government.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes?
Minister of Agriculture.
Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah, many in many countries, veterinary services sit under the Ministry of Agriculture. Or forestry, yeah.
Chief Veterinary Officer.
Yeah, chief veterinary officers. They tend to work for the ministry, but I don't know if there are countries that chief veterinary officers of the country is in the private sector. Yeah, so I think many countries, government veterinarians are the ones that primarily responsible for animal policy and implementation. But in others, private veterinarians, researchers, universities, even veterinary paraprofessionals also contribute. There are countries that without veterinarians, there are quite a number of them, and then in those countries, veterinary professionals play very important roles. International organizations, maybe not. But we call this system of veterinary professionals implementing these animal health policy and setting animal health policies, implementing veterinary services. Have you heard of this term, veterinary services? Is it used in your lectures? Yeah? Yes and no, maybe. So the official definition is governmental and non-governmental organizations that implement animal health and welfare measures that are outlined in water, terrestrial, and aquatic code. But yeah, they include vets, veterinary professionals, even aquatic animal health professionals, and that are authorized by veterinary authority to deliver this function, and we call all of their veterinary services. And what do they do? So not many of those activities are implemented through veterinary services, that's why I'm introducing them. So they do disease surveillance, outbreak response, food safety, import export certification. They're even responsible often to establish laboratory networks and information sharing about diagnostic, animal welfare, wildlife health coordination, emergency preparedness. One thing I can tell you is that often when everything is working okay, the work of veterinary services is not very visible. But when like outbreak happens, they're really the critical ones. But also wanted to mention that they do like communication, coordination, also like workforce development. How many vets or like PPPs or how many workforce is needed in your country? It affects also the number of veterinary schools and so on. Okay. Now you know veterinary services. So let's consider a scenario: a dead wild bird is found in a wetland. Who should be involved in response? So apart from veterinary services, wildlife, yeah, specialists, yes.
The local council.
Yeah, local communities. Yeah, I think in Japan, probably the prefectural government will be the one who will be mainly responsible for responding. Anybody else who should be involved or informed?
The environmental sector specialists.
Yeah, environmental sector, animal health, yes.
At least in Germany, you also have to try to reach the hunter that is responsible for that area.
Yeah, so communities, local communities, they are the key informants of these wildlife diseases. Yeah, so many people involved. So WAR had historically worked with veterinary services, but especially since the COVID-19 outbreak, we realized that we needed to expand our work on wildlife health. So there have been several different working groups working on wildlife-related issues. Standards, there's no specific standards for wildlife health, but then they are kind of integrated into other standards such as disease reporting, and like biosafety security. And I already mentioned disease reporting. So not all diseases are reportable, but for example, avian influenza, rabies in wildlife, they are all reportable in to World WAHIS, it's World Animal Health Information System. So WAHIS information is publicly available. So if you are interested, please try accessing. We'll ask all our members to identify one or two people who are main point of contact for all the wildlife related issues with WAR. And the interesting thing is in many countries, these focal points for wildlife don't sit under the Ministry of Agriculture, but they sit under the Ministry of Environment or other ones. So we ask our WOA delegates, the chief veterinary officers, to closely collaborate with these focal points. We have network of experts, and yes, we publish different guidelines. And to sort of navigate our work on wildlife, there was a wildlife health framework for 2020 to 2025, and it is new strategy that was released in this year. So this is the what the wildlife health strategy looks like. The impact expected through this is its members and health networks empowered to protect wildlife health. And we would hope to do this through the following outcomes, such as wildlife health governance systems, driven by comprehensive legislative, regulatory, political, and scientific frameworks. Sometimes we think, yes, going into the field and working with wildlife is a really, attractive job, but if without a very good legislative or regulatory frameworks, it's actually very difficult to work in the field level. Scientific knowledge and risk analysis are systematically applied by WOA members, and sustainable integrated multi-sector wildlife health surveillance are also established. As I mentioned, there have been several guidelines related to WOA members, and WOA plans to continue to do so for the next 5 years or so. We continue to stress the importance of disease reporting. And I mentioned WOA has been working with many collaborating centers and reference laboratories. In Asia and Pacific region, we have a collaborating center in Australia, Singapore, and also Mahidol University in Thailand. And yes, we organize workshops, trainings, and also collaborating centers also implement different activities. So we already mentioned that different sectors needs to be involved in this kind of response. I think we already seen this. I think I just wanted to mention that in addition to the traditionally mentioned environment, human, and animal health sector, we, according to the UN One Health high-level expert panel, we really need to involve the societies, communities, and at different levels. And this conference theme includes climate change. So I also just wanted to mention that climate change resilience is also closely related to the importance of One Health approach. Okay, so another quiz. Which 4 international organizations make up the quadriplet? Yes, WOA, FAO, WHO, WTO, no, UNEP. Yeah, I have a hint as well. But yes, these are the ones. I think some of our speakers during the opening session mentioned these. So yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of comparison of these organizations. Because you might be interested in your in a future career in international organizations. I worked briefly with about 2.5 years with WHO, and I'm now working for WOA, but I've been, throughout my international organization career, I've always had interactions with FAO, and then more recently UNEP. So they were all, founded in, WOA is the oldest, the UNEP is the newest, except for WOA, they are part of the United Nations systems. The headquarters mostly in Europe, but then UNEP headquarters in Kenya. They have regional and sub-regional offices, but notably, WHO and FAO have country offices, and that's partially related to the rough number of staff. If you have country offices, you need more staff, and then its mandate and mission is also very different. So as you can really see, WOA is a tiny organization compared to other ones, but in the bracket, it's very rough estimate of the number of vets who are working, but really WHO, FAO, and WOA are the organizations where many veterinarians work in. Yeah, so yesterday, I think Dr. Ken Shimizu from FAO already mentioned that United Nations quadripartite working through the One Health Joint Plan of Actions, and some priority areas have been identified. And with reference to this conference theme, I just wanted to mention that environment and climate change is included in this One Health Joint Plan of Action. And we are all working towards integrating environmental health and wildlife health into One Health frameworks. Such, for example, the FAO, WA, and WHO, we've been organizing what we call as a national fishing workshop. Now environmental health participants are also invited. Okay, so student perspective survey. In my opening remarks, I briefly mentioned some encouraging trends that many students said they are interested in wildlife health and also international careers. But these students also mentioned there needs to be some improvement in veterinary education. And it makes sense, interest of students change, education also needs to evolve. So for example, a student want more clinical exposure, they want new competencies included in a curriculum such as mental well-being and resilience, leadership, business management, digital literacy or teamwork. And also they requested that there should be more focus on the quality of learning environment, access to practical training, effective supervision and mentorship, availability of educational resources. So before I finish my presentation in a few minutes, I wanted to tell you a little bit on what WA is doing related to veterinary education. Have you heard of what Day 1 competencies? Yes? Yeah. So before this guideline in 2012, there was no global standard on what should the veterinarians know when they graduate from veterinary schools. So this is a very important document published in 2012, 2013. So was recommendation for the competencies of Day 1 graduates. And it's being revised because society changed, the expectations for veterinarians changed. So for example, this 2012 version doesn't even mention One Health as a competency expected of vets, but I think we all know that it is now very important competencies for new vets. And we have similar guidelines for veterinary professionals and community animal health workers. And there has been recent collaboration with our Veterinary Association and IVSA on understanding how many veterinary educational establishments are around the world, where are they more concentrated in, are they accredited or not accredited, and so interesting, apparently globally there are 1,730 approximately veterinary schools. Brazil has the largest number of vet schools, and if we look at also Asia, China and India, understandably, have the largest numbers of veterinary schools. Another important player for veterinary education and improving the veterinary services is veterinary statutory body. Do you know who are VSBs, veterinary statutory bodies? No? VSB, veterinary statutory body.
Councils.
Yeah, council, they are the ones who gives you the license to practice, or if vets do something bad, who may regulate, take your license away, or in some countries, these veterinary statutory bodies are the ones who accredited the veterinary schools. So maybe like Australia is AVPC, for example. Yeah. So WA has been working closely with VSBs around the world. We are encouraging different players, veterinary education establishments, VSBs, and people veterinary association to closely work with veterinary services so that the education is appropriate to the needs of each country. And in Asian Pacific, we've been working with different networks, and sometimes we've been even supporting establishments of these networks. So you can see some of them here. And also we've been organizing different workshops, both online and in person, trying to develop accreditation standards for Asian Pacific, and also encouraging your teachers, your professors, to be more interested in such things like educational research. Also encouraging them to join CPD, continuing professional development webinars related to education. Not that they are scientific expertise, but on veterinary education methodologies. And it's been encouraging to see more and more professors and faculty members join. So I finished my presentation with this was internship. So when I was a veterinary student, I did the internship with the WHO office in Manila, and that really shaped my career after that. And so I always encourage any students interested in career in international organizations to do internships. Most of them are paid, so you might have to get scholarships through your university or another place. At the moment, I just checked for headquarters site. If headquarters is recruiting interns, it's usually posted on this Goa career website. And for Asia Pacific, we recruit or we engage maybe up to 10 students every year in our internships. And if you go to our website, you can see students report on what they were able to do, or even like a message to future interns. So on the left-hand side, it's Nako from Ukraine, doing PhD at Hokkaido University. She has done a couple of times internship with the office. And Rina from Japan, but she is studying in Australia. One thing is that we are unable to support visa. So yeah, but we have accepted international interns from Korea, Australia. So if you're interested, please visit our website. Okay, so I think I used up all my time. If anybody has questions, I'm happy to take anything. Yes.
Hi, my name is Felix from IVSA Germany. I have a question. You mentioned headquarters and regional offices. Is it possible to work for WAR, for example, like for me in your region, without moving to Paris, for example?
Yeah, I joined World Tokyo office and I've been working for this office for the past 9 years. There's no requirement for international mobility, unlike the United Nations system. So for UN, if you're international technical officers working for country or regional office, I think that their mobility policy is after maybe 6 years, you have to move to another office. But at the headquarters, I think you can stay for longer. Goa, on the other hand, so you can stay in headquarters or in the regional offices, but if you want to move to another region or another office, it's slowly becoming an option. Not very common yet. Actually, may have to look for opening in another regional office and apply with through a competitive process. But it's doable, and then you don't have to move. And another thing, I've seen many people moving between these organizations. I worked for WHO and now for and other people who work for WA and FAO, and then so it's quite, once you are in the circle in a sense, it's easier to, the opportunities become more visible and easier to move. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. So regarding the intensive as well, like are there any opportunities in which we can do some of from online, because it was mentioned that it is not paid and for some people it is really difficult to move on. And also follow-up question for that. So if intensive opens on Asia Pacific region, will it also be displayed on the same portal in Korea, or we have to reach out directly to Asia Pacific region office?
We have accepted some interns, especially during the COVID period. It's not as easy to engage experience, but if there are some specific tasks, let's say if you are very interested in doing some analysis using WAHI's data, and our officer who's responsible for WAHI's is available and willing to mentor, I think that can be considered. And if you go to our website, there is a link to an online form which through which you can submit your expression of interest to do an internship. And every few weeks, our officers review the applications, and if there are suitable opportunities, we try to match. So during the World Veterinary Association Congress in Tokyo, we had 6 interns, both from Japan and outside Japan, working with us to manage their booth and also help with some data information collection. So whenever there's suitable opportunities, we try to have students working with us because we think it's very important. Yes.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I was just wondering if you could talk a bit more about what drive? Yeah, because I haven't heard about that before.
What about others? Did your lectures cover forgery project?
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what. So initially it was a WTO and war called tripartite, 3 partners. And that collaboration, I think, was formalized maybe 10, 15 years ago. But recognizing the importance of environmental health sector, UNEP joined this partnership and became quadripartite 4 partners in 2022, I believe. Yeah, so we are working at different levels. Headquarters, of course, the contact points in each of the organizations to meet regularly. Even I think the director general level, they meet at least every other year. I think maybe even once a year. At the regional level, so I noted like Tokyo, Bangkok, WHO, New Delhi, Manila, FAO, Bangkok. So UNEP is in Bangkok. So we meet every 3 months online to discuss what different One Health Group activities are ongoing, because our target participants at the country level tend to overlap. So we don't want to overburden them, or we want to make sure activities are coordinated. And sometimes we work closely to even send missions. When there was the introduction of rabies to Sarawak in Malaysia, Brunei requested technical support to the tripartite at the time for technical support, and so WHO recruited the human health expert, was recruited the human health expert, and we sent the mission team together to Brunei. So that kind of collaboration happens. Yes.
Okay, it's another question with regards to the internships. Would you say that they often translate in full-time positions after that, or is it more full-time positions something that's reserved for people who've been in the field for years?
Yeah, I don't think sometimes, rarely, it directly leads to position if some like additional funding comes or position opens. But when we review applications, we want to make sure that that person who is applying to the position is familiar with how international organizations work and different challenges we face. So just want to go back to the organizational chart. So I already mentioned that I did an internship with the WHO when I was a student, and I think it helped with my application when I applied for the WHO Vietnam office position. Amongst my colleagues, China, they both did internship at WAR, and they came with very strong recommendation letters from WAR, existing WAR staff. And when we are interviewing, reviewing applications, and that kind of things can make a difference. So even if it's not the opportunities immediately after, when we see past internship experiences in their CV, it's a big plus. Of course, you have to perform well. If you don't perform and we get, sometimes we see, let's say, applicant have done internship at headquarters, we try to contact that person who supervised at headquarters and see, get feedback on how this person did. So yeah, it can be strongly positive. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if I may, yeah, Lisa also did internship with us before during war. Kinzan, he was working for the Bhutanese government and closely working with war. So we knew him very well when he applied. So that kind of network connection is very valuable. Yes. Sorry, I'm looking at the organizing committees. Maybe the last question. I'll be here till the end of the day today. I'll be joining the tour. I have to go back to Japan tonight, but so if you have any additional questions, catch me today. Yes.
Okay, thank you for your opportunity. Maybe I should ask, based on the present table, how do the primary mission of WHO, FAO, and UNEP complete each other under the quadripartite alliance? And maybe last but not least, may I follow your LinkedIn?
But I don't check it very often, but yes, please, I think I had my contacts on my last slide, and I want to share this PowerPoint, with everyone. So when you apply, we do receive many applications, and sometimes, we don't, there are just too many to review every one of them. So if you could also send me an email saying, you met me at the IVSA conference, I will at least try to bring that to the attention of the person in charge of internship. So yeah, and then the comparison part. So your first, what about the comparison did you want to know more?
All of this for organization.
Working together?
What about them?
The table.
Naveen, mic.
Yeah. So and maybe I will just highlight the number of beds. So as I've already mentioned, many of the technical officers at war are veterinarians. The PHO vets work in topics like zoonosis, food safety, and both at the headquarters and then in some regions. FAO, because they are working on livestock health, many vets. Some are even like laboratory experts actually. And UNEP, actually, I don't know. But I think there may be one or two vets, but if anybody has information, yeah.
So in FAO, is working closely with ACTAD, or they are also working at other department inside the FAO?
FAO, I think mostly actually I don't know how the headquarters works, but I think there is like a group that is working on the public health zoonosis, another group that is very much working on production, and some of them are vets. But I do mention that the Animal Health Program used to be very strongly supported by USAID, and with the current US administration, there has been severe funding cuts. So the number of positions have been reduced, but maybe by the time you graduate in a few years' time, the situation may have changed and there could be more funding for, global health. Okay, so thank you. So as I mentioned, please find me if you have additional questions. And also, I will leave this report, the State of the World's Animal Health, which is it's a very nice summary of different animal diseases or capacity issues, and have some interesting wildlife stories as well. So leave it at the back, and maybe the organizing committee can make sure that at the end of the conference, maybe it can be given to somebody. Oh no, I think there's an electronic version online already, but if you are interested in seeing the hard copy of it, please take a look. All right, so thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Gama, for the presentation. I just want to highlight that in IVSA, we're trying to bring organizations like WOW closer to you. Sometimes we can feel that it's hard to reach out to them. This is example of the Asian Pacific office that they have many activities with IVSA Asia and Pacific, and also with the Americas Regional Office. They recently had a workshop in the Americas Regional Symposium. So we're trying to do this for all regions, but we need you to engage. So they want to come to our activities and everything. So if you engage, we're gonna do it, but just for you to know, that's what we're trying to do. Please share everything that we do for all operation members, see the amazing opportunities that you have with them. Thank you.
The chair would like to call this meeting back to order at 11:07 a.m. Nepal time. The next order of agenda is minutes of the 74th IVSA Online Symposium SGA in Greece. Status.
I move to postpone the acceptance of the minutes of the SGA in Greece to GA number 3. The reason for that is because we did a few friendly amendments after circulating them to you. So according to the bylaws, you would need to see also, even if it's just friendly amendments, deleting commas, putting something, another formulation, we still have to send it to you. So you have the chance to overview it, even if it's just really trivial things. That's why we're gonna have a look at that tomorrow, and then give you some opportunity to share the presentation of W over AH, so you can get both the news in one.
Yeah, thank you for the second one, remembered it. The motion on the floor is to postpone approval of the minutes of the 74th IVSA Symposium. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, the motion passes. Next order of agenda is updates from our officials. And the first one we start with always is the president. Tammy.
I'm in the X committee number 3, and I'm very glad to present to all of you my report on what I've been doing for the last 6 months, and my last report is president because we're in the position at the end of the month. Next, myself. Thank you. So this is the president update. You'll have similar updates for the rest of the positions. But I'll start with the updates. My name is Tammy Zomedo. And this is something that I included in my slides during the last symposium. But for me, and I'll have a slide talking about that, it's very important to recognize that even though I have the position, it's important to have a very strong support system. And well, this is me, but this is my strong support system, my pets. And also the whole team of officials, you already met them. But I'm really happy to have had such a diverse team in all the bodies of all the officials. So thank you everyone. For those that are running again, good luck. For those that are leaving the officials, thank you for being part of it, and I hope it's going to be an amazing experience for the rest of your life. Now, I'll start. So yesterday someone asked me, and this is something I included in the morning because yesterday someone asked me what being president looks like. And I included it in Greece, but I felt it was very good to mention it here. It's indeed an amazing experience, but also it's a full-time job. So you may know I'm mentioning sometimes I'm nursing right now, because it's a full-time job, and I decided to dedicate exclusively this year completely to IVSA, and even with that, it was still challenging. I also want to recognize that, and I want to leave this for all of you and the officials, that challenges will always be there. You just have to have resilience, understand, process, grit, and continue. And also be human, because as I said from the Hanover meeting in the last Congress in Taiwan, we are humans. I'm not perfect. I was 4 years ago was in my first IVSA Congress when I ran for my first official position, and until now I'm still learning. I make mistakes and I learn from mistakes. So don't think that we are perfect. We are not. We make a lot of mistakes, but we also have to learn from our mistakes. And yeah, I would want to thank my family, especially my mom, who is always next to me and understanding, even though she doesn't understand what happens. She's always next to me, helping me. All my friends, the old officials, but especially to the trust. It's been amazing to have you. Work with some of them before, work with some of them in Expo, and I'm so happy to have your support. Thank you, trust. And everyone who's still by my side. I'm sorry that it's kind of long, but it's my last presentation. Next year, we'll like that, my last time. Internal management. So as president, I'm in charge of the internal management of the organization. I did my best to have one-on-one meetings with all the exco members. It was kind of complicated for all the trips I had and the events that I've attended. You will see the next days. I did my best. I didn't have for the second half, I didn't have the scheduled one-on-ones, but whenever any of them needed to meet with me, there was a time we met, or even through voice notes, long voice notes. I know, for example, Rebecca has hard times like voice notes to solve problems and everything. I hope I was helpful for you guys. Of course, we have experiment every 3 weeks. I'm very thankful with you for always being there for scheduling the expo meetings, which are basically a space for expo and officials to discuss what's going on in the organization. Regular follow-up with officials. This year I try to be very close to all officials, not just expo. So I'm very happy that, as I said, for example, that I coordinated with the MOD and the American for participation who are doing the Reno Symposium. So that's something I really like, give the officials, the ability to coordinate all the things by themselves and learn. Also, together with the Secretary General and Trust, we'll do a follow-up on the strategic plan. That's why we have the strategic plan to follow it. So there will be a presentation about it in the next days. And apparently, when I had our process with the president-elect, we just had a meeting. It was kind of hard because I've been traveling lately. But I'm doing my best. I told her to prepare a document, points of contact, and everything that she will need. Because when we start the position, sometimes it's really hard to put everything on a document or meetings. There are things that we learn along the way, but I hope I can do my best for the handover. So some of our partners that you can find them in the website. I won't mention all of them, but I briefly talk about what I've been doing with each of them. Those are most of our partners, and then some that we need to add into the website are the new ones. And I'm very happy that we could work with them, develop more activities. As you could see, 3 of them will be present at the symposium, and it's something that makes me really happy. So very quickly with partners, IPSF is the sister organization of IVSA for pharmaceutical students. I'm very happy that we have a close communication and collaboration. They invited me to their congress, we invited them to the congress, but we're having congress at the same time. So that's really unfortunate. They're in Thailand right now. But we have had collaborations at regional levels during IVSA. Here they will try to do something, but it's already good that we have the communication going. And mutual participation in events. I sent a message for them for their Thailand Congress that is right now happening, and they were present in an online SGA. With WUK, as you can read, what I will highlight is that we usually had our chairs of the committees being part of the working groups, but this time I propose to open the book for members. You might know that in case you saw the IVSA Instagram account. So we have the open call for members, which will allow regular members to work with WBA for 2 years. Then we have the civic grants, and of course, as you can remember, the participation of the WBA president in the Congress. FECABA, which is the Federation of Veterinarians for Small Animals in Europe. We have sitting grounds for the FECABA Europe Congress, which is happening this year together with the IVSA Congress in Poland. And we also attend our Europe Congress and policy meeting. With EVI, again, we also had the IVSA representatives in the EVI board, in the EVI board working group, but they were renewed for a long time. This term, we renewed them. We have very good people there. Felix is one of them. So I'm pretty happy that now we have new representatives working with them for 1.5 years. And we also have an IVSA representative in the EVRI board. You'll know more about EVRI in the next days, and you will know Malaika, who is also here. And yeah, we're participating in other general assemblies, and you will see their video during the next days. If for all European members, we give them students for their student visitations. I've attended and also the past presidents, their general assemblies. This time I have the opportunity to chair a panel discussion during their GA in Barcelona. And something that is just starting and will continue is having students in IF committees, which is a very big step towards involving students in decision-making bodies. This is a pilot project. We're going to see how it goes. We have some students, but if it goes well, we're going to open a poll to all European members. Please follow IVSA Europe and IVSA Global Instagram account. For Wasawa, as you might know, we have the volunteer program, the student ambassador program, which we revealed this year, the new ambassadors. And I started something which is the handover manuals for student ambassadors. So the new student ambassadors can have some advices in written format from the past student ambassador. From GUA, we have attended together with ICAS co-chair their general session. For this year, we got a financial support of 900 euros for our accommodation, which helped a little bit with our budget. So I'm pretty happy about that. And as I said, we have collaboration with regional divisions. But we need your engagement to continue doing that. So they're really, really happy about that. And something that I will mention as well in the attended events section. This year, I had the opportunity to attend two United Nations events, and of course, stressing some connections with some important people. Here we have our sponsors, and basically you can read what we did with the most of them. Highlight is that we have a very good communication, something that Felix led with Reina Institute. We had lots of student competitions with them. Royal Canin, of course, the highlight with the travel grants as well. We have 2 members here present, and we are now working on the renewal of the MOU. And with SEMA, we have the internship travel grants and also the grants for animal welfare. Regarding executive sessions, which are meetings of the executive committee, just executive committee, we just had one, and I reported it already in Greece, in the line AGA, and we didn't have any more after that one. Goals, well, I want to close my pending project of topics so I can close everything and not leave pending things for the next president, but if needed, there will be some pending things. As I said, I'm in the process of the handover, and yeah, the end of the term is this year. And something I said, my last thing that I wanted to leave as the term is ending. I just want to thank to every IVSA member during the symposium in Morocco who trusted me with their vote to be IVSA president. When I joined IVSA 6 years ago, being president was one of my dreams as it was being MOT. And I'm really happy that I could do it, but I decided to dedicate my full year, not just to accomplish a dream, but to give IVSA back everything that the organization gave me. I'm already at the end of my IVSA career, which also means at the end of my veterinary student career and journey, but I will always be very grateful with IVSA and to all of the members that text me and says me really great messages that I inspire someone that's really grateful, and will always be very grateful for the opportunity to be your IVSA president, and I hope you feel represented this year by me. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for them? Susan.
Susan Adel. Susan Adel, IVSA Nepal, building number 92. So I wanted to learn a bit about EAV project, and like since you mentioned, since the previous speaker mentioned that it was started as the pilot project, so like who are representing it? Is it okay to know that? And if it is selected from the officials team, or why not the open call was done? Thank you.
I'm Negra, IVSA Excavating number 3. So, if for those who don't know, is this association that gives accreditation to the veterinary schools to ensure that they have a good quality of education. And they also have, as I try to explain, someone supervising them, which is something called ENQA. And they have to achieve also some requirements by that. One of them was to involve the students more. And also something that Felix in his term and I also when I met the president were talking is that how we can involve the students more. And during the MBGA in Cyprus, we propose with both the president of IF and I said like why wouldn't we don't have IF students in your EXCOM and also in the committees? That's something new that came up. When I attended their GA personally during May, they invited me not just to their GA but also to their internal committee meetings to see how I perceive the information that we take by students, which I gave my feedback and I feel it's amazing. But they also asked me that they needed the students as soon as possible and they wanted to try how it's involving students. And for them, opening a poll was a long process that they prefer not to follow this time to see first how it works. Then they asked me to select the students, European students that are in their last year of studies. That was the first thought, and then also very recent graduates to be part of 4 of their committees. Of course, they're not handpicked. They will have an internal selection process into IVSA. Like I send the names and they send their documents and they will give the final approval saying we are good with this person or we don't like this person. I'm still in the process of the president deciding which documents they have to send. It was already approved by the executive committee, and I have no problem mentioning some of the ones that are going to be in committees if approved by if. If I remember correctly, let's see. In one of the committees, in COVID, we're going to have a student representative, Alba Herrera from Spain, who's a student I met in Barcelona. And as recent graduate representative is going to be Corina from IVSA Germany. Then for the EXCO, we're going to have a student representative, Irini from Greece, and Felix as a recent graduate. For SICWA, you work for SICWA, right? For SICWA, it's going to be Alba and Corina. For ECOBI, for EXCOM, it's going to be Felix and Irini. For the other is SOP working group, which is basically a working group where they work improving their SOP, the contract they sign with universities. We're going to have Omar from Turkey as a student representative and Darren from Turkey as recent graduate representative. And from the EXCOM, I already mentioned, ECOBI. For ECOBI, we're going to have, as a student representative, we're going to have Malaika from Germany. And as recent graduates, we're going to have Tara from Slovenia. Those are all the ones that I sent based on their previous experience in organizations and also their commitment within different organizations, not just IVSA, and experience for the last years.
Thank you, Tammy, for that answer to the previous speaker. Do we have any other questions for Tammy? Ashley.
Hi, Ashley, IVSA Australia, bidding number 83. Yeah. I'm just curious about the UN because I think that's an incredible opportunity. Do you think that would be open for members in the future to go?
Yeah, so that's something I did my slides for the events of the United Nations. But actually, when Felix took the presidency, he was informed, because that was not part of his numbers as far as I'm aware, that we have consultative status within the United Nations, which is the ECOSOC status. And he had to do some things with some H11, like some paperwork, in order for us to not be, how can I say, like, not lose the status within the United Nations. So that was a big part of Felix's job. When I took the presidency, I received the first invitation to an event. And first I wanted to discover how it was, because I knew from my experience throughout IVSA for the past years that organizations like IVSA for medical students, IPSF, they take a lot of part of United Nations events. So that was an opportunity for me to discover how it was. I did, I will add it to my slides, but I will leave the suggestion to the next president and next president to open it for members, because as well we do IVSA and IBSF. They can give up to I think 10 badges for members with no expenses covered. But that would be great. But first, we wanted to discover how it was because we were about to lose our status.
Thank you for that answer. Felix?
Felix Mesker, IVSA Germany, bidding number 69. To complement what the speaker said, is that this procedure of re-getting access into our consultative status in ECOSOC, as it was mentioned, was very hard and very long. And the main reason is because we didn't update it for 3 years. So it was forgotten, and because we were 2 years too late for the normal re-authentication process. And this didn't put us in the best spot. So right now, this is also the reason why, first of all, this was mentioned, attending those events, but also bringing WOA, FAO, WHO, UNEP, like possible, to these events are all things that when we reapply again, we can put there, and the more often we do it, the easier it gets in the future for future presidents to then get more opportunities out for our members. But right now, given it was just renewed last year, and very late in the second half of the term, it's like all still very fresh.
Okay, thank you for the comment. Do we have any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you, Danny. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into 20-minute standards for the duration of the WVEA presentation. We have a new hand up from Latvia.
Nicola Ozan, IVSA Latvia, bidding number 55, as normal.
The motion on the floor is to go into 20-minute standards for the WVEA presentation. Do we have any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are at standards. We will just be out in a couple of minutes once we figure out the technical stuff. As a reminder, standards means you cannot go out of the room, you stay here.
would be heading a lot lower, and ideally we need even lower temperatures for a sustainable future. We're also using the resources of our planet 1.8 times faster than they can be regenerated. And this graph by Danella Meadows and the Club of Rome demonstrates the limits to growth. You can see there at the top of the graph, the red line, our resources are dwindling and our population is growing. The food per capita is higher and the industrial output per capita is higher. But this will meet a threshold that is not sustainable. And the footprint that us humans have put on our planet and the resources that we're using and abusing are no longer sustainable. So we need to take action, and this is why. And this footprint is the logo of not just VETS, the World Veterinary Environmental Alliance, but also an organization called VETS for Climate Action. So Dr. Jeanette, she created this organization a few years ago in Australia, a voice for all animals to take action to improve the health of our environment, influencing animals, and of course humans as well. This is a Kelpie, a dog from Australia. Vets for Climate Action have done fantastic work. They've created pathways to sustainability and net zero emissions for vets. They have the Climate Care Program. This is a program available to veterinarians in Australia and New Zealand and potentially will be shared further internationally. It helps to be mindful of water efficiency, waste and recycling, energy efficiency, renewables, procurement, and chemical use to help to reduce our impact on our environment as vets. Vets for Climate Action has also worked actively on education, veterinary curricula, conferences, continuing education in policy, the government, both local and state and also federal, in the industry, veterinary associations, and the media. And very recently, Vets for Climate Action has rebranded into the Australian Veterinary Environmental Alliance, which is a subgroup of our World Veterinary Environmental Alliance. And we asked, why vets? Why should we step up and take leadership and make urgent changes that are needed for our health and well-being, for society, for our animals, for our environment? And vets have a powerful position in society. We're in the center of the One Health model. Also, we facilitate care and compassion in our communities, which are such important values for a sustainable future. We're a powerful voice for public engagement. In an era of misinformation, where trust in media and government is declining, veterinarians remain among highly trusted professionals, giving us a powerful voice to advocate for animals. Veterinarians work on livestock, companion pets, wildlife, animal health and welfare, global food supply, biosecurity, One Health, biodiversity versus extinction, business and the economy. We have far reach into our communities, and we have this fabulous opportunity to step up, take a leadership role, and drive positive change for urgently needed positive impact on our environment. The study that done last year showed that our veterinary sector is ready. Only 30% of vets believe their clinic currently has clear environmentally friendly practices, and just 34% are satisfied with their clinic sustainability actions. But 80% of veterinarians across country surveyed said that sustainability is personally very important to them. 89% of UK vets want to play a more active role in sustainability. 76% of US veterinary clinic staff say it's very important their clinic strives to be environmentally sustainable. And 65% of pet owners want to be informed about their vet's clinic's efforts to reduce environmental impact. 85% of both vets and pet owners agree it's important to do their part to improve environmental sustainability. So the time is right. We're at a defining moment globally, and all of you here today have an important role to play driving positive change into a sustainable future. The difficulty is that our vet sector, although we're moving, it's slowly and in silos. Without coordination, progress is slow and fragmented. We need to enact change further and faster and urgently. And together, we can make climate action, protection around biodiversity, sustainability, and One Health central to our veterinary profession, and therefore help to make our world a better place. And to enable this, we have our World Veterinary Environmental Alliance focused on climate stability, sustainability, biodiversity, and One Health. We collaborate globally to help make a difference. We need high-level engagement. Dr. Jeanette, on our call, she has presented to the World Veterinary Association 3 times and at many other conferences across the world. And we're very excited to be here today, sharing with our vet students our future, the opportunity that we have here. This shows veterinary organizations across the world that we're collaborating with currently. To the best of our knowledge, this is most of the organizations around the world, but if any of you in the room know of any other organization, please let us know so that we can collaborate further. It's wonderful to see that there is so much action taking place, but there is some overlap, and there is such a great opportunity for us to share resources and therefore use our resources wisely. Our World Veterinary Environmental Alliance patron and ambassadors. We have some fantastic people helping to support us. Professor Peter Doherty, a Nobel laureate and veterinarian. We also have Dr. Rafael Leguins, Martin Mitchell, Dr. Mark Schipp, Dr. Mariam Kahika, Professor Mark Howden, and a growing network of key supporters that are getting stronger and more every day. We also have a growing WVIA membership. We have various veterinary associations, and we invite you and encourage you to please invite your association to join us so that they can also be present on our list and we can collaborate to work together for a better future. Now, the focus of WVIA is to be practical and dynamic so that we can be agile and take urgent action. We have various pillars and focus areas that we work on. Firstly, biodiversity, global policy, education, sustainability in clinical practice and equine practice, and sustainability on farm. When it comes to global policy, we aim that by 2030, 80% of national vet associations have a policy on climate, sustainability, and the protection of biodiversity. We aim to unite the veterinary profession as a global voice for animal health and welfare in the face of the triple planetary crisis, advocating for animals that cannot speak for themselves. The World Veterinary Association has One Health as one of its strategic goals for 2030. And part of that is to develop and promote guidance on environmental sustainability and climate action within veterinary medicine. Dr. Mark Schipp has advised that WVIA will be key advisors for these strategic goals. Education is another core priority. Education on climate science, adaptation, sustainability, biodiversity protection, and One Health embedded into all veterinary curricula and practical training globally. We also want to drive education that is accessible, credible continuing education on sustainability and planetary health that is available across the profession and represented at veterinary conferences worldwide. Biodiversity is another important key theme. We need to advocate for stronger standards, policies, and regulations that protect species and ecosystems and reduce the veterinary sector's contribution to biodiversity loss through responsible prescribing, procurement, and environmental stewardship, including targeted use of parasiticides and antimicrobials. In veterinary practice, every decision that we make with regards to using various types of drugs and medications has an on-flow effect. And this is demonstrated by two key things over here. When it comes to pharmaceuticals, the veterinary use of diclofenac in cattle caused the collapse of up to 99.9% of vulture populations in parts of Asia dying, which was really sad. The drug diclofenac was retained in the carcasses. The vultures that scavenged on them suffered from kidney disease, and that really impacted heavily on the biodiversity. Changes and us being more aware of what we're prescribing and using a drug like meloxicam, which has less impact like this, is so important, and spreading the word and sharing this information is critical and key. Another key area is the use of parasiticides. 98.6% of English rivers contain fipronil, a parasiticide used commonly to address flea issues, and the levels in these rivers is in concentrations exceeding toxicity thresholds. So for us as vets, there's so much that we can do, that we can be mindful of, that can help to make a big difference. Every prescription is an ecological decision. Our other area of focus is sustainability in clinical practice and equine practice. We act locally and collaborate globally to accelerate implementation of environmentally sustainable veterinary practice. We scale, adapt, amplify, and celebrate practical sustainability initiatives and emissions reductions across clinical practice. And we build and promote the business case for net zero veterinary care. It is interesting helping practice to evolve and think more about the environment. And amazingly, and not surprisingly, many of the things that we do that help our environment also help to improve the health and well-being of veterinary professionals working at the clinic, being more fulfilled that they're making a positive difference, not just to the environment, but also to the animals and other humans that they work with. In clinical practice, the impact of carbon and isoflurane can also be considered. The carbon pollution in a typical medium-sized small animal practice in Australia, around 2.5 tons of physical waste goes into landfill each year. And the practice produces over 100 tons of carbon pollution, that's 40 times more. Isoflurane also has 550 times the global warming potential compared to carbon. If we can reduce our inhalant and anesthetic gases, that can also help to drive positive change. And here's a practical example. In veterinary practice, those of us who do surgery, of course, we all scrub to prepare for surgery. But here's some interesting thoughts and things to consider. Using chlorhexidine in water. And thank you to Emily Fife of Ecovito in France for providing these slides. So here's a question. How much water can be used during a single traditional surgical scrub? And here's some options to consider. 2 liters, 5 liters, 20 liters, or 50 liters. As 20 liters, that's how much water can be used during a single traditional surgical scrub. With water being a precious resource in so many areas, this is definitely something that we need to be mindful of. And let's consider what we scrub with. What's the issue with chlorhexidine? It's a highly effective antiseptic that's widely used in veterinary medicine, but it is persistent in wastewater and sediments. It's toxic to aquatic organisms, and biocides may co-select for antimicrobial resistance. And this is something we need to be very mindful of, weighing up animal welfare concerns and environmental concerns. So, here's another question. Which surgical hand scrub strategy is most environmentally responsible while still maintaining effective infection control? A, chlorhexidine scrub with a disposable scrub brush. B, alcohol-based surgical hand rub alone. C, soap scrub for the first scrub to remove debris, followed by alcohol-based hand rub and alcohol rub between subsequent surgeries. And D, skip hand washing entirely. The patient will never know, right? But I'm sure none of us will do D right. And here's our answer. C, soap scrub for the first scrub to remove debris, followed by alcohol-based hand rub and alcohol rub between subsequent surgeries. Rub, don't scrub. Alcohol-based surgical hand rubs have rapid environmental degradation. They are not associated with antimicrobial resistance. They're equivalent surgical antiseptics, have a lower risk of dermatitis for us humans, and have lower water use and carbon footprint. Who acknowledges this? Hand preparation guidelines say best practices. First, scrub of the day with soap, then alcohol-based rub. Alcohol-based rub in 2 cases, and avoid disposable brushes where possible. Thank you to IVSA in the UK. They have a fantastic green theatre checklist. If you have a look at this link, you'll find more information there and so much that you can do to help your veterinary practices. Sustainability on farm. We want to promote methane reduction and regenerative farming practices in the global south and north, while considering always animal welfare. Collaboration with other sectors on protecting food security and support of veterinary profession on the front line of climate impact. Previous successes are well worth celebrating. The responsible use of medicines in the UK, animal use of antibiotics reduced by 57% since 2014. We can make a difference. Let's keep at it. So the next priority is going forward here. Our World Veterinary Environmental Alliance is to set up our online resource library so that all of our veterinary professionals have access to it and can use this information wisely to make a difference. We will launch our focus groups, having discussion in all these areas, driving positive change and collaborating. Our communications plan will ensure that this information is shared to all the right places, and we will drive positive change in veterinary education to include all of the important information about climate stability, sustainability, biodiversity, and One Health. So join us, join veterinary leaders in defining responsible practice standards, learn from and share insights on efficiency, circular solutions, and smarter operational and procurement models, demonstrate environmental leadership, position your professional circles at the forefront of veterinary sustainability. This is a moment to help define the direction of the profession together, and you, the future of our veterinary profession, be perfectly positioned to help us to make a fantastic difference. It's time to shift the culture. We need to normalize this change. We need to prioritize all of these aspects, and you can help us and we can help you. So please join Olivia. We thank you so much for having the opportunity to present here tonight, and we invite you to please let us know if we can speak anywhere else or share this information with any other group of veterinary professionals. Enjoy the rest of your fantastic congress. Namaste.
Thank you, Lisa, for a wonderful presentation. We'll see if the GA has any questions for you. Any questions? Felix.
Hi, Lisa. I hope you can hear me well. Yeah, okay. So I have a question. Like, first of all, I really like having WEA now at the IVSA Congress. I'm a huge fan. And a very nice warm-up picture. So my question would be in terms of like the examples you brought, how what to keep in mind, for example, the chlorhexidine, but also the water. With the water example, what are you telling practices and surgical teams on how to like deal with this issue? Because it's easy to say like keep this in mind, but have you implemented some kind of strategies that people can follow, some technical devices that help with that?
1 second, Lisa, 1 second. Okay, you can go ahead. Okay, you can go ahead.
Thank you for your question. That's a great question. And it all depends on which country you're resident in and what resources are available. Where I am in New Zealand, thankfully, we have these alcohol rubs that are readily available that we can simply put into our practices and educate our teams on how to do this. And I know this isn't necessarily the case all over. The climate care program that we have at our disposal that is shared currently through the Australian Veterinary Environmental Alliance is ready to potentially be shared in other countries at some stage as well. So if you'd like us to share any of these resources with you, please let us know. But yes, a lot of it is driving positive change by helping to support each other and working as a team to make a difference and getting our veterinary leaders involved so that they are motivated to help to drive these changes and support their various teams with what is needed to do so.
Thank you, Lisa. We have another question from.
Hi, I'm Ashley from IVSA Australia. It's so exciting to see what vessels.
Can you repeat the other question, Lisa? Okay, Ashley, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ashley from IVSA Australia. It's so exciting to see countries and robots and nuclear industries yesterday. My question was with the ISO use, what are practical steps we can take to reduce ISO use? What does that look like? Is it like anesthetics? Do we use TEAM or do we be more selective about what surgeries we do? Thanks.
And it all depends on the various teams and their capabilities. Of course, under anesthetic, big teams are under high pressure to ensure that their animals stay stable and of course they don't get compromised. So with anesthetics, we need to be confident in what we're using. There are tools to help to make this happen. You're 100% right. PIVA, or total intravenous veterinary anesthesia, and PIVA, partial intravenous veterinary anesthesia. Those are options. Usually with these, we need a tachograph, which can be an expensive piece of equipment for some veterinary practices to use. But we're in the process of creating practical resources to share. And yeah, watch the space.
Thank you, Lisa, for that answer. Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, thank you again for a wonderful presentation. We have delegates asking if you'll be able to share your contact regarding further questions. Okay, so I will get your email from you later on. All right. The chair would like to call this meeting back to order at 12 p.m. Nepal time. The next point on the agenda that we have for today is we continuing on with the officials updates, and our Secretary General is next. So that will be Shu. GQ E. Also, apologies for not doing this before. The chair would like to recognize the presence of IVSA Slovakia so that they are added to the podium.
This is Bank IVSA Expo, big number 45. Good morning, everyone. It's my good afternoon. Yeah. It's my great pleasure to speak in front of you. I'm just gonna provide a brief update, a very brief version. So in case you guys have any questions later on, feel free to just approach me and just talk about it. But to give you guys a general idea of my work focus, primarily I would say 70% of it focus on documentations, which is quite dry for me, but it's quite important to have some we will need to trace back on the official documentations. Right, so my name is Jisoo Tan, I'm from Malaysia. And this is our team. We in IVS Global we have a total of 12 secretariats. So in case you are looking for a position to apply for to begin your journey with IVS Global, this is one of the best positions to begin with because it gives you a very good fundamentals exposure to how IVS Global works. IVS Global is too big. It needs a lot of time to learn. But anyway, even though we just the team of secretaries like 12, but when we work as a team of officials. Like I have to deal with secretary has also have to deal with all the expos, the chairs, the networks, the networks. Basically, we work as a team. That's what I'm trying to say over here. So this slide boils everything down, like whatever that I have been doing throughout this term. As documentations, expo meeting minutes. As of now, we have 14 of them. 13 of them has been done, and each of it is like 10 to 16 pages. It's a lot of documents to be done. But in case you are interested to check out what has been discussed in the expo meeting, feel free to go to our website. We have one particular sections where we upload all the minutes there. This is for transparency. Then we also have the meeting minutes for the General Assembly, which the most recent one, which is SGA in Greece, where our trust staff process tabled it just now, is because it's a document that has around 40 plus pages, and there are a lot of corrections to be made. But we are at finalizing the documents. Sorry about the delay, and it shall be sent to you at the latest convenient time and for approval for tomorrow's GA, I suppose. And then officials internal evaluation. Yeah, we also did like evaluation form for all the officials just to check on our performances, to receive constructive comments, to improve ourselves and how can we do better in the office. Report card preparation is something that it's a summary of the evaluation that will be sent to all the officials. We have done it this time, but we have encountered some issues with this, so we'll be fixing it soon and will be sent to all the officials later on. And officials' reports and presentations, I'm in charge of also arranging all the reports template as well as the presentation templates for today to be presented to the GA, just so that our members are informed about what has been done and the preparation of the General Assembly. As you guys can see, we are sitting as we has been elected as official of the General Assembly. Assisted with IVSA event organizing committee with the recommendation of the board of the executive committee, and IVSA bylaw amendment. We're supposed to have one. If you have gone through the proposed GA agenda document, you'll find that there is actually one proposed bylaw amendment, but after hours of discussion, later on we will withdraw. I have decided to withdraw that bylaw amendment. We can discuss about that later on, but just to give you a heads up over here. And then to govern the activities of IVSA Secretariat throughout the term, so we have regular meetings, 1 to 2 months, once per 1 to 2 months, and also to assist the President on the IVSA Constitution update and registration under the Belgian government. This is still in progress, but I believe later on our President-elect can provide more updates in that regard. And this is loading. Okay, just to give you an image on how does the minutes looks like. I just placed some image over here, and yeah, this is an example of a template of the report card.
Do it again. Do it again. Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of self-reflection after looking at all the evaluation form that has been the response that I've been given. I've tried to boil down everything for myself, which is better time management and to be more proactive and more innovative on the projects and administration system for our organization, and also to increase the confidence on independence, ownership of responsibility as Secretary General, basically to take more new initiative. Because to be very honest with you, I've been quite passively working because there is something to be improved. And sorry for the technical. Yeah. What is my inside? So it's an issue in the future. Okay, so this is gonna proceed like this. After I did my self-reflection, these are some of the comments, maybe discussion we started with the future Secretary General. The first thing is to focus more on the strategic plan. For those of you who are not aware, we actually have a strategic plan for IVSA that for the year of 2024 until the year of 2029. It has not been very emphasized this term, so this could be something that we can work on for the next SG and also for the next batch of IVSA global officials. And also I also didn't have the brain cell to start to work on the manual on MO governance. It is also something listed under our strategic plan, so it might be something good to start to work on. And I think another thing that will be good to start to work on is Exco self-evaluation. This give opportunities for the members of the office to provide constructive inputs on perhaps a monthly basis so that we can keep our performance up. And then also to reconsider the methods of official evaluation, because as of now, we do twice official evaluation throughout the term, and not every officials will receive equal amounts of evaluation from team members, and also that makes the value of reference variable. So this is something we discussed too, and also the structures of the secretary might be something to be discussed with the president next term and also the secretary general in the next term, because as of now, the situation in our secretary board is that some secretary can be very absent, while some of the secretaries working really, really bad because they have a lot of work to be done. So probably some structural changes can be done to modify our secretary board. And here are some quick acknowledgement. Let me just quickly, I will skip it. This is in my report, but you can have a look right now. Okay. This is just I would like to share a little bit of my journey in IVSA. Basically, my first ever IVSA global event is in Denmark. It's my first ever global event in 2023, where during that time I was elected to be the Asia regional representative, and until today in 2026 I'm serving as the Secretary General. So my next question to you is, how about you? Because I begin with zero knowledge in IVSA Global. If someone were to ask me what is my strength, the only thing I can think of is that I have the courage. That's it. If I were to compare my knowledge to other nominees, I wouldn't say that I would be better than them. In fact, I would totally say that they must be more knowledgeable than me. But courage is the only thing that brings me to this point until today. Okay, basically that's it. If you have any question, I would like to take it from you right now, or otherwise, if you wanna just chat on me later on, you can just this is my contact details. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Do we have any questions for you? Seeing none, thank you again once very much. The next point on the agenda is committee coordinator. That is Violet.
Violeta Lilemos, I'm Exco building number 18. All right, hi guys, it's so nice to stand here and give my updates for common coordinator. So a lot has happened this round, but I know we have some time constraints, so I'm going to keep it as short as possible and give you a little speed run of everything that the CC team has been doing for the second half of the term. So these are the committees and networks, and I would like to once again mention that we are well represented here in Nepal. So huge shout out to all the team members, ambassadors, chairs, secretaries, and in general, this whole term, the CC team has been one big family. It has been really amazing. So this is what constitutes the CC team. These are the 12 people behind everything that the committees and networks have been doing. I have 4 amazing secretaries, and I have to mention my secretaries had to do their CC job, but they were also shared with my fellow executive committee members, which means that they sometimes had to liaise between the two. And of course, I had 8 amazing chairs, of which 5 are from the study committees and networks, and we have 3 networks. So this term was quite interesting in the way that the committee coordinator is a bit everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So if you were to ask me to identify what does the CC do, that would be quite difficult. So the main responsibilities is that you coordinate across all the committees and networks, but you also liaise with your fellow executive committee members. You liaise with organizing committees, such as you will see our amazing sessions. So thank you, OC, for working so nicely with us. You have been amazing. And also, it's important that you strengthen, in general, the CC portfolio, considering that it's such a broad position. So this term, I focused on 3 main points, and the first one is the people. So I wanted to support my people. I wanted to create an environment for growth, to develop new skills. That's also why I gave a lot of responsibilities or projects to my secretaries, to the chairs, and in general also chairs encourage their team members and ambassadors to step up, to take responsibility, and to voice their actions into ideas and initiatives. So there were regular meetings, as always. I think chairs can testify that you have a lot of meetings. If not, your phone is blowing up. And I wanted to strengthen the overall cohesion and engagement between the CC team, but also other parts of the IVSA officials, IVSA Global in general as well. We wanted to liaise with our MOs, our local chapters. We have a lot of local committees and networks, and we wanted to engage more members to join us. A second point was processes. I'm a little bit of a nerd in that sense. I really like it when things are documented. And in the beginning of the term, there was not really these procedures that were in place. You have to understand that in IVSA, a lot of information relies on informal knowledge that is passed on from one executive committee member to another, or from one official, from a member to OC, from anyone to anyone, and at this point, it's important for the CC team that we start documenting things, particularly considering the movement and engagement that we have. The chairs will give you more updates about that because the committees and networks have really boosted this term. So it's very important that we start creating manuals, documentation, etc., to ensure that there's sustainability for the future. And to do so, we have a lot of databases. I want to apologize to my chairs for always sending those emails. Please fill out the database, please submit your documents. But in the end, I can say that the next term, the committee coordinator, but in general the CC team, will have handover manuals for every single thing you can think of. And we also have databases, which did not exist. We built them from scratch. Then, of course, we have our projects, our opportunities. If you follow the committees and networks on social media, you can see that we have a lot and a lot and a lot of them. What I want to highlight here is that the committees and networks are responsible for 23 partnerships with the IVSA Global, of which 14 new ones were established this term. So on external relations part, the committees and networks have worked really hard, and I genuinely hope that you have the opportunity to check out our amazing partnerships and that you can make the most of them. So then, like I mentioned before, I wanted to create an environment of growth to support my people, to have them take their own accountability, and also to develop new skills and gain knowledge and experience. So to do so, I invested a lot in the members and leadership development. Take it from an ambassador taking responsibility to organize a webinar with a chair, or a chair chairing meetings with us, or also weekly engagement initiatives, Motivational Monday. I know we have lacked a little bit in the past weeks, but every single Monday, it was so nice to hear from you guys. The same goes for team appreciations, so tomorrow morning for my chairs, please fill out the CC team appreciation. And we also established anonymous feedback systems. What this means is feedback on you as an official performing, but also feedback on how we as committees are functioning. So for that, I kindly request that you fill out our general standing committee and network feedback form, because your input as our members is super valuable to us to ensure that we provide you with future opportunities that are helpful and that they kind of like relate to what you want to see. The impact itself is visible in the way that my chairs, each and every one of them, is very confident in what they do. And I really want to take this moment to say that I'm so proud of you, and I've seen the growth, and I sincerely hope that you will continue on this momentum. I want to say the same for my secretaries. You took ownership of your tasks. You really dedicated your time and effort to every single responsibility you had, despite your busy academic schedules. And you managed to combine it between the CC, PRC, CCEMOD, or CCERO, for which I really want to thank you. And we made more accessible support structures. So members are reaching out to us, and we actually are establishing local committees and networks, which is really amazing. The CC portfolio itself had to be strengthened. So as I already mentioned before, there are handover manuals, databases, basically continuity and sustainability for future terms. And then, like I mentioned, we have a lot of partners and external relations. So once again, please engage with our partners. We have amazing opportunities for you. For me, myself, I represented the EXCO, and I was representing in the EXCO officials meeting. I also presented the updates for chairs that could not attend live in the president and the host meetings, so all four of them, to ensure that we shared our opportunities with you once again. I also attended the IVSA, and there were a lot of global and regional collaborations. So then a little bit about challenges. We were asked to give an overview of what are certain points that can be improved or what are challenges you encounter. So our first one is regarding decision-making timelines. Considering that you have 8 committees and networks, you have 3 teams, I can tell you we are more than 500 people in total without the masters who are working in the committees and networks. That means that you have a lot of projects at the same time, and it also means that you should have good decision-making timelines. However, here lies the case that the CC team is often very reliant or dependent on other parts of the executive committee or officials. Take it OC, take it the ERO for installations, or take it the MOD when it comes to events. So therefore, it is important that there is made some recommendations there, but you will see those in the next slide. A second challenge is about role clarity and accountability. Like I said, as CC, you're a bit everywhere, which sometimes can create the impression that you're doing someone else's job and you are taking appreciation for it. So that, once again, I want to mention, if anyone ever felt that I was doing your job and that I thought I was doing it better than you, that's absolutely not true. It's just that the CC is like liaising with everyone. You're a coordinator, after all. And I want to mention here that follow-up and clarification is super important. Stay in constant communication, follow up and clarification as needed, and this is the way you avoid any arguments. So our third one is the consistency of collaboration. Considering that we are changing our term every single year, chairs start your projects in one term and you have 12 months to implement them. And sometimes partners actually want to establish long-term collaborations. So that means there is really the need to have a good handover process for which we have created already different workflows, and also that there is procedures in place to ensure that the handover is efficient and we do have continuation of our partnerships. So the impact of those things is that sometimes life was not that easy for none of us. We had to repeatedly follow up on decisions, and thank you chairs for reminding me when I had forgotten about something, and also thank you secretaries for following up on projects when they were at a standstill. There is an important need for the CC to identify certain communication gaps, and I'm quite sure that this is not something that exists every single term on the same places. It really depends on the projects you're doing, the people you work with, the events that are happening. So the communication gaps should be identified by the incoming CC every single term separately. And then sometimes I had to take on the role of chair. There was one point in the term where I was 3 chairs at once. which is really demanding for the CC. And I think it's important to mention that when I as CC was less available, I could count on amazing secretaries to jump in where needed. But it does highlight that this is a very demanding role, and there is a need to find out supportive structures in case things get overwhelming. And then, of course, you have to be super flexible. You have an amazing timeline in your head, and then the speaker cancels your webinar, and your whole timeline is messed up. So you need to be super flexible for this role. You need to adapt in an instant. You need to think very quickly of solutions, and that is the only way that we can manage this. So despite all of this, the communities networks have performed tremendously well, have to mention it. Projects were progressed, there were new projects, there was a lot of innovation, and also to me, the teams have remained supportive. We had many support systems in place, we had many meetings, we even had brainstorming sessions during which team members voiced their thoughts, and we also maintained external relationships. As mentioned before, we have 14 new partners. So the recommendations based on all of this is to focus on a few levels. On organizational level, look more into the scope of the role and identify with the new team of officials where you want to improve things. Define also escalation procedures, because sometimes as a CC, I'm only advising my chairs. The decision always lies with the chairs. So sometimes I can create difficult situations. So I'm there for guidance. I'm not there to tell my chairs what to do. And it's also important to improve on continuity during absences. Chairs sometimes resign, team members become inactive, ambassadors vanish, and then your project is at a standstill. The same goes for CC level, so I want to really recommend the follow-up CC to continue with the documentation that I started, to continue updating all of the databases, the manuals. It will make your life easier and also the life of your secretaries and chairs. And then keep these regular feedback mechanisms, because the feedback we receive from members is super important and actually really, really helpful. So then I also did some personal reflection, because I'm capable of that. I have some key lessons that I've learned. So leadership requires resilience and adaptability. Unexpected situations arise, and that is the moment where you need to really start thinking, okay, how am I going to deal with this? It's also important that a good structure empowers people. If you have some imbalances or you have some conflicts, you are not able to empower your people and to let them live up to their true potential. Documentation creates long-term impact. Like I said, we don't want to rely on informal information that is being passed on from mouth to mouth. We want to have some documentation. Constructive feedback enables growth. So thank you to all of you who gave me constructive feedback. There was like a lot of comments about micromanagement or me not being empathic. I really took it to heart, and I sincerely hope I improved. Nevertheless, I'm still open for more constructive feedback because we can always improve, right? So then there's also integrity and consistency that matters, especially during challenges. You are working as a team of officials. You might have varying opinions. It's important that you find a common ground and always, always keep the best of the association at heart. And then my most meaningful achievement is actually not a project or something personal. It's more that I have seen the growth of people. I provided you with the soil to plant your seeds. And I sincerely hope that you planted them and that you are nourishing your plants well. And who knows, maybe you will harvest the fruits of your success later in the future. So what's next? The strategic plan. We kind of completed all the points until 2027. So the next CC will have next life in that sense. There is not many points for you left. We are going to expand external relations, projects, etc. And I also want to increase capacity building, for which I will give a handover to the next CC. So stay tuned. So once again, thank you so much to all of my chairs, all of my secretaries, my fellow executive committee who has been super supportive, Trust, who jumped in when it was needed, even HLMs for pointing out points where I can improve and for telling me how I should take feedback. I also want to thank all of the members, all the ambassadors, team members in particular, but in general, just IVSA, for being here, for supporting the communities and networks, for making our work possible. And I do hope that we will see more of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation and a lot of insights for the people who want to apply to BCC. Do we have any questions from the audience? Seeing none, she's also going to be around the entire event, so you can ask her at any point in time if you have any doubts. And yeah. The chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn for the day. Italy. Yeah, Susan.
Giulia Ricorda, IVSA Italy, building number 46, I so move. 23% wellness.
That will not count. Anyway, the motion on the floor is to adjourn for the day. Do we have any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, the motion passes and we're done with GA for today. Just to confirm, before everyone runs out for food, do we The election committee has an announcement for all the people that have been nominated or you nominated someone, please go speak.